Well, after making a video of touring this room, some time has passed, and I don't feel like doing work today. Well, kind of. It's complicated. A few projects went sideways, so I'm kind of in a bad mood. But I think what I'm going to do is clean and organize this all. I don't know. That's the plan. I also think I'm going to try and work on this a little bit. Let's see if we can get this light plugged in. A lot easier to do it with two hands. There we go. So I think I might also try to get some of this cleaned up as well. But we'll see what the before and after looks like. And yeah, go from there. Well, I'm part of the way through now my sorting. It's definitely going to get crazier before it gets better. Kind of going through some networking cables right now and figuring out where to put stuff. Some of this stuff has other places it belongs, so it'll get moved out of the room. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Funny thing is about a lot of these cables, most of those gray ones are all just Cat 5, if I remember correctly. There's really not a good reason to save them, but they do match, so I guess there is that. And honestly, for short runs, Cat 5 should probably be able to handle full gigabit. But yeah, I don't know. This box is my new cables, and the other box is my used cables. And that'll kind of supplement some of the measured ones I have. And I'm also going to make a box for these short ones, so I kind of want to keep the short ones separated out just because they're so handy for when I'm doing short runs, like this yellow one here is my internet connection to my main network. But yeah, work in progress, but we're getting there. Well, I can't tell if things are getting better or not. I think they are. I kind of got distracted because I didn't know what to do with some of this stuff yet. And I started stripping out a bunch of stuff from my rack. Had a ton of cords hooked up. I just kind of kept adding cords as I needed to plug stuff in rather than find the cords that were already plugged in. It's looking a little better now. But one thing I want to do is plumb in this R720 that's going to become my test server. Oh, I think I found another cord that's not being used. And I'm not looking forward to that because it's going to be tricky to get to it. And I haven't quite decided where everything's going yet. So some of this, like the power, is going to be going to my 240 volt PDU because this will not need battery backup. I don't really want it to shut down, but at the same time, it's just not necessary. Like, it's not even going to be on ever, probably. And then I need to kind of get a spot to put this KVM. And I don't know where. I think it may just keep dangling, in all honesty, because it doesn't have enough length to like stick it to the PDU with some double-sided tape or Velcro. And I don't think there's anything I can do to fix that, unfortunately. It doesn't look like there's a lot of give. So, yeah. And then I eventually need to get this PDU reset to defaults and kind of figure out what I want to do with it. The tricky part is, it's just not in a good spot with the way these rack cable management arms come out. So I don't like what it's doing to those cables there. I might need more light. There we go. So I don't like that. And obviously I don't really want it like here. I mean, I guess I don't really need the bottom half of the outlets. Not that I need the top half. I mean, this side has more than I'm ever going to use as it is. But one of the plans is that I would like to do is have one side not on battery backup, then take the battery backup and plug it into the PDU, and then the other side will plug into the battery backup. That way I can choose if I want it on battery backup or not. Also, it'd give me the ability to have a longer runtime with this 3000 VA battery backup. But at this point, gosh, there's another one that's plugged in for no reason. Where are all these coming from? Ooh, that's short. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I still need to buy something if I want to be able to use that. I'm kind of mad about that. I wish I would have known it was 208 only. So I spent a lot of money on batteries for this thing. I think they were, oh gosh, there's 8 batteries, and I think they were like $15 a piece at minimum. So that's $120 of the batteries in there that I just threw away. Nobody's had any interest in buying the battery backup, and it's too heavy to ship, so those two options are kind of out of the question as well. So I don't know what to do there. And then some of these cords, they're not really managed very well. These are coming off my servers. Luckily, since I have redundant power supplies, I could unplug them and reroute them, well, without taking a server down. But I don't know yet. I haven't really done much to clean this up quite yet. All I've done is removed some of the stuff that I wasn't using. And then some of this is just mess I didn't know where to put. This is all stuff for my rack consoles that I never use. I had the cables dangling, but I feel like there's probably something better I can do with them. I'm just not sure what yet. I'm kind of disappointed these don't come with a better solution for managing their cables, but I guess they have to consider for wherever this is going to get plugged in at. I also need to remove the rack KVM that I installed that is dead. It's just taking up space. And I'm considering maybe putting some blanking plates, I don't know. I kind of like having the open space so I can set stuff on top of the server if I need to store it. Kind of like that SSD all the way back there. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I get this a little bit more under control. It's not terrible by any means, but just kind of getting stuff situated and then getting that server hooked up. I think I'm gonna plug it into this switch here. This switch really isn't being utilized. I basically just hooked it up so I could get the last of my ports in my office live that basically never used, but I wanted to be able to know that I could go to any port in my building and have a network connection. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't think it's going to look pretty like some people would like to see, but I think it'll look better than it is. Just noticed this. I don't remember why I did that like that, but yeah, anyways. What I'm probably going to have to do to cable manage the bottom one is pull the top two out slightly. There should be enough counterweight at the bottom where this thing's not going to tip over, but we'll see how that goes. Well, unfortunately you can hardly tell I did anything. This is all new. I kind of tried to bundle this up. I'm thinking this rack PD is actually going to have to go away because it's interfering with these cable management arms and causing unnecessary problems. I got my test server set up now, and in theory, yep, that LED light is working. And these are all cable managed. Maybe not the best cable management, but they're okay. They seem to be working. I do want to do something different with these power cords, but that'll require me to unplug the server one power supply at a time and then kind of route it differently. I don't think this is going to be an issue. I'm not sure though. I think I'd rather have these behind the KVM, and the only way to do that unfortunately would be to unplug them one at a time and plug them back in. So yeah, I still got this mess, and you know, the cables, they don't look the best. They'd look better if this PD wasn't there, so I need to remove that as part of the cleanup. I'm kind of using stuff that I got for free, so yeah, that's why the lengths and the colors don't make sense. Although that part, of course, so that turned out mostly nice because those were all free and the same length and the same color. But I'm not sure what to do about this from now, but definitely need to remove this rack PDU from the way things are looking. If I ever do get to the point where I can use this battery backup, then I'll just plug in this rack PDU into it, and then that'll kind of solve that. But on a positive note, this server is running now. I don't have it configured, so I will have to figure out what I want to do with it. I am going to be pulling one of the Tesla M40s from my main server and probably replacing it with the 1070 I have. I was going to buy a different video card, but honestly I don't even use these video cards enough to matter. Also, the observant people will notice that this faceplate suddenly changed colors. And part of that's because somebody recently notified me that they wanted to buy a black faceplate for their R720, and I didn't realize that these black faceplates would fit. So now I'm kind of conflicted. There is this little lip thing here, which is for who knows what. I guess shades the display or something. Oh, it technically is removable. Also, I'm not sure what just happened there when I took that off. Ooh, nope, definitely not using that faceplate. Let's find out. I don't know, I guess if, that's weird, because these have the same tabs. I don't understand what's so different. So when I removed the faceplate, it was catching on that drive caddy. Also, wow, those are dustier than I remember them being. I don't understand what is physically different, though, between these two faceplates. So, I guess that theory is going to go out the window. Not that I take these faceplates off very often, but I'm going to stick with the appropriate faceplates that are designed for these. Jeez Louise, look at all that dust. This wasn't that dusty the last time I looked at it. Clearly I've disturbed something. So yeah, I guess that tangent's kind of pointless. I got a bunch of 2 terabyte drives in, so this server is going to be disassembled and I'm going to build something else. I want to find something that fits on rails so I can pull it in and out, and then it's not going to block some of my U. It'd be nice to have another blank plate here, make it look pretty. Kind of like I have this blank plate here. This one, there's not really any particular reason why it's here, just to fill the slot. I originally wanted an air gap between the servers, but then I realized it doesn't matter. They're designed to be stacked like that, so yeah. But unfortunately, this one needs to turn off, because I'm not paying the energy bill to run that. Also, I should probably fill those empty holes. Oh man. Unfortunately, nothing's going to be dealt with on this. I don't even remember what these 2 cables are for. I think this is the management port on one of my switches, and I think this is the network link to one of my switches. I will probably route those cables through these little slots here, just to kind of get that under control. But yeah, that gets the rack kind of where I want it to be. Unfortunately, I'm running out of time in the day today, so this is going to be a multi-day project. I'm kind of getting there though. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with those 1U shelves yet. I could just throw them on the shelf, although I have that box and that box still that I'm going to use for sorting. And I need to go through this. That's basically a mystery tote of goodies. And some of those goodies are going to get some new friends, because I don't really know what to do with these yet. And I don't want them on my shelf because I'm not going to use them anytime soon. Same with that patch panel. So a lot of the rack mount stuff is going to go in there because that's already what's in there. And hopefully that'll get things kind of cleaned up. I need to find some more boxes for sorting. because I need to put those small network cables, or not small, short network cables in a box. And then some of this other stuff as well. I don't know where it's going to go. So hopefully I'll be able to get this done in another day. We'll see what happens. Well, time for the big reveal. Hopefully behind this door is a server room that looks a little bit more sane. So I'm done kind of cleaning up and reorganizing. These are still here, unfortunately. I don't know where they're going to go yet. And same with those, but less concerned about those, kind of. I don't know. And yeah, stuff's labeled. It's kind of organized. There's a few things I just kind of gave up, like this box of cables, and then that. I think that's a 5 1/4 floppy drive floppy disk organizer. That's just kind of full of random hardware. This is my screw it, I don't know where it goes shelf. Although I will need these somewhere soon for a different project. These are the rack ears for an APC battery backup, along with the back like supports so they go into the rails properly. So that's kind of my whatever shelf. And this shelf I wanted to keep empty, but I couldn't find somewhere good to put that, so I think it'll be fine. The idea of this shelf is if I'm working on something, I'll sort of put the parts. So like my 1070, that should really be down here, because that's going in the server. That video is going to go live before this one, so I don't know. This is kind of a shelf of more parts. I don't really know what to say about these. These drives really don't belong in here. I'm not using them anymore. They were for testing stuff. This 3 terabyte drive is sadly dead, so I need to smash that into a pulp and then recycle it. Probably going to sell this cable. This works with the R720s for GPU power, but I don't really need it. Although I might regret selling it. I don't know. I'm going to probably hold on to it for a little bit longer. I'm going to be putting this 1070 in my server, as I said in the video. It's probably going live before this one. But I still kind of want something more powerful. My dream is I get a 1080 Ti Founders Edition, but I really don't want to spend money on something I don't need that I'm not going to use. So I'm probably just going to live with this and then kind of wait and see what comes up. But yeah, I don't know. This shelf kind of needs to get cleaned up. That riser, I don't know what to do with it yet. The only reason I'm holding on to it is in the off unlikely chance that I have a riser that's damaged but has a good intrusion switch on it still. Even though those risers are probably worth like $7 on eBay because people have no clue how to make money. But yeah, so everything's all organized and labeled. These 1U rack shelves, I just kind of opted to shuffle them under the shelf. This stack here kind of sticks out, but it shouldn't be too big of an issue because there's really no good reason why I would have my toes under the shelf. So, yeah. Nothing's really changed on the front of the server. That's all the same. That cable mess is all the same. This still needs to go away. I technically need to sell this. This I don't know what to say about. Yeah, complicated. Yeah, I don't know. This needs to go, that needs to sell. That really I should sell, but I already have 2 more R730s for sale that nobody has any interest in, even though they should be reasonably priced. But I don't know. Used servers are nearly impossible to sell unless you're giving them away, which is frustrating. But this is basically how it's going to stay. I don't really see this changing anymore, so that's kind of whatever. This is my top KVM, which I'm not really using, or not KVM, rack console. But yeah, so everything's cleaned up now. I even vacuumed the floor, which may have been a mistake, because I think that might be why my main R720 got so dusty all of a sudden. I think maybe my vacuum stirred up some dust. But at least now I can kind of walk in. There's not junk on the floor. There's not a stack of 1U rack shelves in my way. And yeah, that should be pretty good. So hopefully that was interesting, and thanks for watching.